Well, we sent him off on assignment to China, no less. That is our very own historical correspondent from historyouthere.com. I'm speaking, of course, of Harold Peacock. He's made his way back to our locale and he joins us on the line. How are you, mate?
Thanks, Damo. Yeah, it's amazing the people you meet on the other side of the world and the interesting stories and history that you find.
Yeah, so it was obviously a good trip.
Oh, look, it was fantastic. But like I say, the people you meet, but then you just dig a little deeper and there's the history and the stories you uncover. And look, it's amazing. Like you said, it led me straight back here to Toowoomba.
Yeah, and of course, one of those stories you discovered was a ghost story.
Yeah, look, I was in Beijing staying in a brand new hotel called the Skytel Hotel. It's just 20 minutes from Tiananmen Square and the Forbidden City. And I found that room 612 is haunted. Now, Selena from Parkinson in Brisbane, she swore that at night a lamp would turn itself on and then a smoking smell would waft through the room. Now, the second night, it happened again, and she couldn't sleep and was too scared to even open her eyes. Now, in her travelling group was a retired Queensland Prisons Governor, who you'd be typically think is a reliable source. Now, she also believed the room was haunted and said that it needs to be saged, which is the burning of sage to cleanse the place of unwanted spirits, and the Chinese are big on that. But in the same group of friends was Leung. Now, Leung is from Blue Mountain Heights, right here in Toowoomba. Now, I shared a rickshaw with him, and now he's an avid listener of 4WK, of course. So, good morning to Leung. Now, Leung is a doctor at the Toowoomba Hospital. The very first person he certified as dead, he checked the body for signs of life. There was nothing. No life at all. Then suddenly, the corpse took a deep breath and expelled a foul-smelling odour. Leung jumped 20 feet in the air as the body made its last dying breath. Now, where Leung works at the Toowoomba Hospital is one of the most historic sites on the Darling Downs. Building began there in the 1870s based on designs by Queensland's colonial architect Francis Stanley. His younger brother was Captain Henry Stanley, who served in the Queensland Volunteer Artillery and was the subject of an inquiry relating to his persecution of band members, the Jeffcoat brothers, and their trombones. Now, you can find that story on my website. But anyway, back to Leung. He says that he's been told by a number of nurses at the hospital that the former nurses' quarters, now called Cossart House, is haunted. But there's a whole lot more to the story of that building than just that. You see, Cossart House is named after an early matron, Ethel Cossart, whose ghost would probably have plenty to complain about, you see. At 36 years of age, Ethel got married to a rotter named Norman Smalley. He'd been convicted a number of times of things like illegal betting and stealing whiskey, and this was his second marriage because the first time he'd twice been seen committing misconduct by a neighbour peeking through the curtains. Anyway, Ethel's family had been suffering bad luck for years. Back in the 1870s, when the Toowoomba Hospital was being planned, her cousin Henry Cossart was squashed and killed by a tree 2 miles from the Highfield sawmill, which coincidentally is really close to where Dr. Leung lives today. Then in 1894, Ethel's uncle, Henry Cossart, who'd previously been sued for child maintenance, was found guilty of the really serious crime of perjury. And Ethel's father was George Cossart. Now, he was the well-known Toowoomba saddler in Russell Street and chairman of the Toowoomba Hospital Board. He collapsed and died during a meal at home. And Nurse Ethel, after whom Cossart House is named, she could do nothing other than watch him make his last dying breath. So, Damo, even though you got rid of me by sending me over 8,000 kilometres away, what I found were ghost stories and Toowoomba history that shows there's always a lot more behind places like Toowoomba history or Toowoomba Hospital than meets the eye. And, of course, a big shout-out to Leung and his family, who were great to travel with.
Yeah, I tell you what, that is a great story. And to think you found all about it over in China and it's wended its way all the way back here.
That's right. Look, it is a small world, but you don't know what what happens in those rickshaws in Beijing, do you?
Well,
You get talking at 4WKs, always top of mind.
well, there you go. Who would have thought that you'd be in the back of a rickshaw talking about 4WK?
Yeah, that's right. Add Toowoomba Hospital and the Cossart House and the history there. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Well, mate, once again, another great story, and of course, that will be up on the Facebook page, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Yeah, Facebook and all your socials, and online at the website historyouthere.com.
Fantastic, mate, and we can read all about that. And so you're back into the swing of things now. Your return from China?
I am, and I'm already looking to build a pretty good story for you next week too, around the Darling Downs. So make sure you get everyone to coming back next week. It's a good one.
All right, I look forward to it, mate. As always, we can jump onto historyouthere.com or check all of the socials as well and read up on that story. And, of course, if Harold, if anybody's got a great historical story from somewhere on the Darling Downs or the Granite Belt, we would love to hear from them, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. Either let you know, Dana, or go to the historyouthere.com website and let me know there. And look, I'll research, I'll come out on site and I'll swing my metal detector if there's some historical items to find too. So let me know via the website or via 4WK and we'll look into it.
I look forward to it, mate. As always, thank you so much for that great story, and we'll chat again next week.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Harold Peacock from historyouthere.com. Check out that story and many others on the website or on the social media platforms. We're going to check all the birthdays coming up next.